Hey everybody, here we are again. It is Monday, it is I, Robbie Rapole, and I am here today to talk to you about what I just experienced last week, ending with yesterday, which was my birthday. I went to a Tony Robbins seminar called Unleash the Power Within. It is a 4-day intense ass program. So it starts with Thursday, which was the latest day we went in. It started at like 11 in the morning. Got there at around 10. And it was, dude, it was insane. There was like 9,000 people there. And it was so fully immersive in mental wellness, self mastery. Just it was mind blowing. Okay, so Thursday we go there, and it's just like a giant fucking concert for people who are going to be motivated. There's lights and fucking music and just people just screaming, losing their fucking minds. It was wild. And at first I was like, I don't know if I dig this vibe, right? So, we go through the whole first day, and at the end of the first day, we do a fire walk, which they have a big ass fucking fire that burns, and then all the coals, they take those off the fire and they put them on these different beds. There was like 25 lanes with coal beds. And so, basically the first day was, kind of an introduction, but it was pretty intense because Tony Robbins spoke for a whole 14 hours or some shit. It was nuts. So you get in there, he starts talking. There was no lunch break, no dinner break, no pee breaks really. It was just loud music, pumping up the volume and the energy, and just getting people involved and just like pushing them outside their comfort zone of just screaming, yelling, wilding out, just, really celebrating themselves and starting to talk about getting into your peak state. And that is a really interesting thing, and talking about the state shifting. So, we're all meant to live in a beautiful state, right? We're not meant to live in a negative or a downtrodden or a depressed or an angry state. And so he helps us learn how to shift your state like that. And then how to stay in that state, like flow state. If any of you guys are familiar with that. And to stay in that state, to walk over the hot coals. So I'm not gonna lie, it was an easy process for me, due to me already having done so much suspension and having dealt with my leg loss and all that stuff. It just felt like I have been through a lot worse, so I'm sure I can do this. And I was right, I did it, and I did it easily. I was more concerned with my leg being, my plastic foot melting, which, surprise, they put the coals on a bed of grass. So I stepped one foot on the grass and the other foot in the coals, and it was cool and it was interesting. But the big thing for me that I took away from it, and everybody has their own experience, right? The big thing for me was I already know how to shift my state, and I didn't realize I know how to shift my state. So that was huge because, state shifting, it's something that happens that you should do, or you can do at any point in time. So if you're miserable, if you're angry, if you're depressed, whatever is ailing your brain, you are in charge of it. Now, by the time Sunday came around, it was the 4th day and it was my birthday, and I just found out a very dear friend of mine had died, and I had a hard time shifting out of my sad state at times. But it was beautiful how I was able to experience my sadness while still being in a beautiful state. And then at one point in time, I remember I was like, man, I need to because every so often they'd have this group called Kinergy come out, and they would dance around and pump you up and guide you in an aerobic exercise program, which was cool because I didn't get to go to the gym a lot. or at all while I was down there because it was late nights, early mornings. So like by the time Sunday came around, I was like having a moment. I was like, maybe I need to shift my state. So by the time Sunday came around, I was already shifting my state on purpose. So Thursday they start with the shifting of the state, and like there was so much more we went into, and you know by the time Friday comes around, you know you're a little bit tired, but you're pumped and you're ready. And so Friday, it was Scott Harris and Joseph McClendon the third. They presented all kinds of just brilliant information, and it's like every day was like teeing you up for the next day, and it was all just so much about personal development and wellness, and just like the lies we tell ourselves, and you know the ways that we can shift out of our bullshit. And then Saturday comes around. That was the third day. And it was like, it's still a lot, so I'm forgetting like minute details. I feel the experience, if that makes sense, very deeply in me. And it's like, it's a changed feeling, it's a moved feeling. Like, I know there's something different in me now that I can accept and move on with. And progress with and grow with and evolve with. So by the time Thursday comes around, they call that transformation day. And that's when Tony Robbins brings us through the Dickens process. Now, it's a very weird process. And it's really cool because he takes you on this like guided experience, and there's a whole workbook that goes with the whole program. Like it's like 100-page workbook. I'm so excited to like have all this to like tap back into and remember and you know develop on and grow upon. But like so the Dickens process was, he likened it to if you've ever eaten too much food or drank too much alcohol, and like your brain gets so grossed out by that you never do it again, right? So that's what we did, but with our negative limiting beliefs. So like I'll share my limiting beliefs with you. My first limiting belief is I am not enough. And that can be harmful in so many ways. So, you know, I'm not enough was the biggest thing. The second thing was I'm an angry person. And the third limiting belief was all good things end. All great things end. So he made us take all three of those and like deeply visualize what it feels like living in them. And then he tells us to amplify that to 5 years. And at this point in time, people are crying. I'm crying, like sobbing, screaming at times, screaming no, and just like having the hardest time with accepting what would happen in my life, staying in these limiting beliefs. You know, and like, and it's extreme. It's like the ultimate worst of what could happen. And he holds you there, and he holds you accountable. He's like, stay there. And then he charges you to 10 years and then 20 years. And I'm just screaming, crying. I end up on my knees just in the, like, just so like, fuck, I'm screaming no and sobbing, and snot's coming out my nose, and I'm drooling. And it was like really intense. And it was a way, and as I go back to it, it's like, it's gross, and it hurt, and it was weird, and it was awesome to feel how shitty it felt to keep myself back with my limiting beliefs, right? And so that was just so intense. And then the fourth day we go into a lot of great guest speakers. Nick Santos, I have a hard time, Santo de Stasso. He's amazing. He's a human he was born with one arm that has one finger on it, and no legs and no other arm. And he gave this brilliant speech just about limiting beliefs as well. And there was another person that spoke, Jamie Kern Lima. She started a cosmetic company for people with rosacea and got told no so many hundreds of times by so many different, you know, suppliers and businesses that would sell her products, until she ended up selling her company for $1.2 billion. And like, started on QVC. She had one guy tell her, I don't want to sell your products because you're too fat and people aren't into your body style. Like fucking gross shit. But like the things that these people fucking overcame were just intense and brilliant. And like just seeing, you know, that you can shift your mindset and your state in an instant. And then hearing these people's stories about, you know, coming from nothing and being born with you know, this lack that you were seeing inside your head, and then seeing that people that are born with less than us have the same limiting beliefs that we do. And that's really weird. So it's like, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you are, no matter what you're doing, it was like the coolest thing, because we all are able to form new beliefs and become the best versions of ourselves that we've always wanted to be, without having to worry about, you know, what we don't think we're good enough for, or who we don't think we are. So it was insane, because like I would come home every night from to the hotel, and Donna was not feeling good with the pregnancy, so she didn't attend. But I would come home every night and my hands are still kind of vibrating from all the clapping. But I don't know if it's from the clapping or just from the new energy that I'm feeling. And like my foot and my nub would be like so sore and just vibrating loudly with discomfort from jumping up and down. And my voice, you can probably hear it, is hoarse from all the screaming. But like I made some really new connections with great people. Actually, I'm going to kayak with the manatees with one of the guys that I met yesterday, or not yesterday, Saturday or Sunday it was, yeah. It was crazy because it was a networking event. There was millionaires in the room, there was billionaires in the room, there was regular people in the room, and there was everybody in between. And it was really cool to just be in that energy of these people that are here to learn, right? And like you just blow your mind at the fact that 9,000 plus people are here willing to learn, you know, skills of self-mastery, and, you know, are motivated to becoming the best versions of themselves. And it gave me this new feeling that I can do all the things, right? You know, like it reawakened that, but gave me more of a sense of, yes, I can fucking do this. And I mean, it might have a lot to do with the fact that we said yes so many times in the week. Because, you know, there would be times where Tony talked about, you know, making your move. And, you know, every time he would do that, because like for me, I just kind of started, because at first, you know, I see a lot of people, you know, throwing their hands up in the air, doing a power stance like Superman. But after a while, like he would say, do your move. And then all of a sudden, yes. And then, do you move? Yes. And then he'd say yes. And and so we're all doing our movement. Yes, yes, yes. And then he'd be like, go nuts. Ah! And like, I thought it was fucking corny at first, right? And I thought it was stupid. I thought it was cheesy, but it's so weird. Like, cause he explains to you as he's doing it, you're like rewiring your brain with these neural pathways. So instead of feeling less than, instead of feeling not good enough, you're learning how to adjust and turn yourself into the new evolved version. And so like with the Dickens process, where we overdosed on negative emotions basically so that we wouldn't want to go back there, then we reprogram ourselves with our new belief that isn't a limiting belief anymore. And for me it was, you know, I am enough, I'm more than enough, and I am a loving person, and, you know, all great things not only get greater but they multiply. And so, you know, we did a lot of practices where, you know, my old limiting belief was this, and that's total bullshit. And my new limiting belief is this. And like, it was so much, it was so deep, it was so wild, it was so life-changing, it was so transformative, it was so interesting, and it was so inspiring. And it cost a bunch of money to go there, and it was inconvenient to be there. You know, you give away the day before and the day after, basically, to get there and set up and come home, you know, and then you spend 4 days there, you know, 12, 14, 16 hour days. And it's like, I miss that. I miss the room already. I miss the vibe already. I miss the environment already. I miss the people. I made so many connections with so many new people that I would have never met had I not gone there. And like, I had so many little bonus interactions with people. And like, I learned so much cool shit, just about my own powers of manifestation. I manifested so many great things while I was there, that just were happening to me. A simple thing, I wanted Ruth Chris Steakhouse, and I was busy the whole time because it was late hours. And one of my buddies that I met there, he's like, yeah, I'm ordering some food from there. And I'm like, oh shit. And he bought me a steak for my birthday, and I got to eat the most phenomenal ribeye. So like, that was really cool. And like, and that's a little thing. It's, but it's like, I was, putting out in the universe, all right, I want to meet this person, or I want to have this experience, or, this or that. Like, I actually got to meet Nick's, the one whose name, Santo Nastaso, I think is how it goes. I got to actually meet him. I took a picture with him. You might have seen it on my story on social media. And I talked to him, and I told him I want to tattoo him, and I get to tattoo him now. And like, we get to create a relationship there. And like, there was just so much good that came from this weekend. I don't know if you can tell, because I'm talking way more than I usually do in my weekly videos, but like, it was just so intense, and it was so brilliant. And the workbook was so in depth, and it was just such a cool, amazing, life-changing experience. If you ever get the chance to go to a Tony Robbins conference, seminar, go. If you ever get the chance to do it virtually, go do it. Like, you're not going to miss out if you attend and play the game. As they say, play full out. And they really played full out, and I experienced something different there that I'm not used to. And it was really intense, and it was really awesome, and I really loved it. And I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. And I wish I had more details. I'm still kind of like scrambled and like excited from all of it. But you'll hear me speak more about the things I've learned and the things I've retained from this, because I really feel like I've experienced a truly transformative experience at this event. And I look forward to going to more events and seeing where my next levels of transformation are going to be, and the next steps of evolution I'm going to take, because that shit was intense and one of a kind and amazing. And I hope you all get to experience something like this in your life, because I have really felt something different erupt inside of me after this. And I'm so excited to continue on my journey of life in this space and build off of this. Because momentum is a big thing that they talked about. Anyone can live their best life in that room with all that energy, but when you go home, you really got to continue to move off of the momentum that you just built in that 4 days of 54 hours of training. Like, it was wild, and it was beautiful, and it was brilliant. And like I said, if you get a chance to attend anything like that, do it. It doesn't even have to be a Tony Robbins thing. Get coaching if you're into growing and progressing, because success leaves clues. There's footprints in the sand, and you can follow them to the success you're looking for. So definitely invest in yourselves, because even in the years of doing the rad movement stuff, I used to think, and it happens sometimes, like, oh, words don't really mean much. No, it doesn't make that much sense. Dude, I tell you what, man, there is so much more to teaching and coaching and loving and giving and serving than I could have ever imagined. And I'm so glad to continue to learn more about it. Oh yeah, and another thing, on being your authentic self. I went in there as my authentic self, and I got stopped so much. I had a guy stand waiting for me to finish a conversation, and he was like, man, I just wanted to tell you, you're like a fucking unicorn in the forest. Like, I want to watch you from a distance, and I'm afraid to get close because I don't want to scare you, but you're amazing. And like, I had so many people just see my greatness just from who I was, from who I was being, just from standing, from being, from looking the way I look, from just being the person I am. And I know I talked about, being your true self, living unapologetically on Instagram not long ago. And, do it. Live unapologetically you. And if that means fucking, cosplaying every day, or being a furry every day, or, doing things like this with your hairs and your jewelries and, whatever it is that makes you feel you, do that shit. Because when you're living your true authentic self, people are going to notice that you're bringing something to the table. And I have this like way more confidence since that instance in who I am, based on the people coming up to me and all the work that we did to build our confidence and prove to ourselves how valuable we are, and stand in our truth and stand in our greatness and unpack new layers of greatness. It's amazing to have that and to get that from 4 days in a room with a bunch of strangers where a bunch of them turn out to be your friends. So, just remember, guys, invest in yourself. One of the things that they said there was, going to a seminar that lasts 4 days long and has 54 hours worth of teaching, that's the highest level of self-love and self-care you can experience. So do the things like that you know are going to benefit you, or you don't know are going to benefit you, but you hope they will. Because like I did a lot of pushback on, like, before going, I wanted to sell my ticket. I was like, oh, it's going to be hard with the dogs and the cat, and Donna's pregnant, and I don't know. And we did it. We did it. And I gained and learned so much from it. And Donna wants to do more with me because she wasn't able to be there because of the pregnancy. She wasn't feeling good. So, she's excited to do more coaching, because he has business coaching, wealth coaching, life mastery coaching. Like, there's so much coaching that you can do through all his programs, and there's so much you can learn and progress and grow with. So I'm just so excited to see how all of this comes together and helps us evolve through our times. So yeah, just remember that, guys. You can do it. Anything. You can do anything. Any fucking thing. And I always wanted to attend a conference like this, and I'm really excited I got to. And it was difficult. It was very difficult. And there was times where it wasn't fun. The whole thing wasn't fun. But it was worth it. Like, the room's 40 fucking degrees. He's got his ACs set to, or some shit like that. Like, he makes it super, like, uncomfortable and difficult, and there's a lot of challenges you got to experience. But when you experience those challenges and you dig that deep, you're bound to find some greatness inside there. And it'll probably surprise you how much greatness you will find inside yourself. So keep pushing, keep learning, keep growing. Get coaches, get mentors, talk to your friends. Love yourself. And enjoy life as it comes. So guys, thank you for listening. If you're still around for this, I really appreciate you. And if you do have an opportunity to attend a Tony Robbins conference, I think you'll gain so much from it if you play full out, if you go in there with an open mind and ready to experience, the next level of self. So yeah, it was an interesting time. It was amazing. I'm glad to have done it. I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. Like I said, you'll be hearing more about it in the future. And thanks for listening. As always, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for being you. I appreciate y'all. I'm rad, and so are you. I love you, motherfuckers. Have a great night. Have a great day. Have a great afternoon. Have a great life.